Hi and welcome back to Garfin's Creation. Today let's make this high fiber, healthy, whole wheat and oats bread. This is so healthy with the goodness of whole wheat flour, oats and honey. There are no preservative or additives added in this. All the ingredients are mentioned in the description box below. So let's start with the recipe. First we'll soak the oats. For that I have taken 1 cup, that is 200 ml of hot water. Into this I'll be adding 1 cup of oats. I have used Quaker Oats here. We need to soak this oats in the hot water so that it becomes a little soft and like porridge type. We'll cover this and keep it for 15 minutes. Also in the meantime, let's activate our yeast. Here I have taken 3/4 cup of lukewarm water. Into it I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of honey. And into this I'll be using 2.5 teaspoons of dry yeast. You can use any yeast here, instant or activated yeast too. Give it a quick mix and cover it and let it ferment. It will take around 5 to 7 minutes. You know your yeast is done when it gets a bit frothy. This is how it looks. For the entire recipe, I'll be using a 200 ml measuring cup. So after 15 minutes, this is how the oats would look, a bit soft and mushy. Now let's add the other ingredients. We'll add the activated yeast too into it. And here I've taken 2 cups of whole wheat flour. I've not sieved the flour, you need to take it as it is. I'll also be adding 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Now I'll just combine all the ingredients. In place of the whole wheat flour, you can also substitute it with some multigrain atta. Or you can also add 50% whole wheat or 50% Maida too. So now I'll continue mixing this and kneading it with my hands. I will not be adding any water more here into this. If you feel your dough is too dry, you can definitely add a little more water and knead it into a soft dough. The dough is come together, so I'll just transfer it over the tabletop and continue kneading it further. I'll just knead this for a few seconds and then add the last ingredient. Here I have taken 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter. In place of butter, you can also use vegetable oil. Now all we have to do is knead this dough for around 5 to 7 minutes. This may look sticky and messy now, but as you keep kneading, the dough will become a bit dry and get nice and soft. We can also use a stand mixer for kneading this dough. If you like ladi pav, I already have a recipe for that and I'll share that link too at the end of this video. So if you're thinking of having a healthy whole wheat bread at home, so you too can try this simple recipe and make it at home. So now after kneading this for 5 minutes, the dough is nice and soft. Just add some oil into the bowl and just grease it and place the dough into it. Apply some oil for the dough too so that it doesn't get dry from the top. So now we let this dough proof and let it get double in size. The rising time will depend upon the climate of where you stay. Close this bowl and I'll just keep it in a warm place. So this dough took me around 1 hour and it's already double in size. I will just knock off the excess air and then place this dough on the tabletop once more. I will just flatten it with my hands. You can also use a rolling pin. Make it into a rectangle shape. To make the sandwich bread, I'll be using this bread loaf. Just spread the dough in the size of this tin. Before that, we just need to grease this with some butter or oil. And then I'll place a parchment paper just below on the tin. It will help to release the bread easily once baked. The bread loaf tin is 8.5 inches long. You can use a smaller loaf tin. With that, you'll get a nice heighted bread once baked. Now just roll the dough from one side and take it towards the other end. Just roll it like a log. And then just to smoothen it out, just roll it around. Just pinch the edges where you can see the joint and then roll it once more. Since my loaf tin is quite large, I wouldn't get a very heighted bread. At a good height for your bread, use a smaller loaf tin. Once you place the dough into the loaf tin, just press it a little so that it fills in all the corners. Just press it lightly not too hard. Now after this, we need to let it rise again once more. Depending on the climate, this would take 30 minutes or more to double in size. Just place a napkin over it and let this rise once more. So this took me around 30 minutes again, and it's nice and double in size. Get a nice brown color once baked. I'll just brush the top lightly with some milk. Just brush the milk lightly with some light hands so not to deflate the bread. And then I'll be just spreading some oats again on top. You could also add some seeds of your choice. And then again once more I'll just press it lightly so the oats stick to the bread. Now this I'll be baking at 180 degrees centigrade with both heating coils on in a preheated oven. This will take around 35 to 40 minutes. You know your bread is done when you get a hollow sound when you tap the below of the tin. Once out of the oven, just brush some butter on the top to make the crust a little bit soft. And then just place a napkin over it and let this be there for just 5 to 10 minutes. Not more than that, as the bread will get soggy. Then after 10 minutes, just unmold the bread and then let it cool completely on the cooling rack. Once the bread is completely cold, you can then slice it. You can keep this bread at room temperature for 3 to 4 days. It remains for more days when kept in the fridge. You can just cling film or wrap it into a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag and keep it so that it remains soft for a longer time. So with this, a high fiber, healthy, whole wheat bread with oats and honey is ready. I hope you like this recipe and do leave your comments below. Thanks so much for watching till this end, and I'll see you soon again in the next video too. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.